our town council meeting for September 18th, 2025. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I ask Jamie to do it tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jamie. Council members, you've had the agenda for a couple of days. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve?
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, this is the opportunity for citizens, anybody in the audience, to make any kind of comment they have on anything that's on the agenda. Hearing none, we'll move on. And I'm a little remiss. We have the president of the Board of County Commissioners and our county commissioner here, Buddy Hands and Nancy Grasso. So thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate that. So approval of the minutes of the August 21st public hearings agenda or the minutes. Is there a motion? Or did I already do that? Okay, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second? Second, please.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's do the same thing for the town council meeting of August 21st, 2025. A motion to approve the minutes of that meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, we need a motion for approval of the minutes of the September 9th, 2025 town council work session.
Motion to approve?
Okay, and a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And then approval of the minutes of the September 9th, 2025 closed session.
Come on, Dan. Come on, Dan.
Approve.
Motion
to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Good job, Dan.
All right. On your agenda tonight, we did have a special presentation by one of our esteemed citizens, John Bacon, but unfortunately, I learned at the last minute that he cannot be with us tonight. So we will skip over that item. Can we shut that door, please? Okay, next we have the town administrator's report. Samelia?
Good evening. The town administrator's report was submitted as a part of the work, the agenda as a whole. Of note, the tennis courts at Beach Elementary School are finally complete. It's really exciting, and I think that a number of residents have already been partaking in playing tennis court and pickleball. Do you want to comment on that at all, Councilwoman?
Thank the town and everybody who made that construction happen. The Board of Education, Commissioner Grasso was instrumental as well. I know that everybody appreciates them very much. And is there a couple more things
We're going to
happening?
work on, yep, we're going to work on a couple of finishing touches. We wanted to make sure there was appropriate space for benches before we added benches in. But all the feedback that I've gotten is that there is space for that. So we will be adding in some benches and some other small odds and ends. But for the project as a whole is done, it's wrapped. So
Yes,
Yeah.
very much worth celebrating.
okay.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Jay. I know you worked on all of my little questions, so thank you.
So then outside of that, the other thing I wanted to bring to the council's attention specifically is the capital connection. So I'd gotten a couple of questions on where we stood with what was happening with Capital Connections project. So I started adding into that tracker on page 3, the residents and businesses that reached out to the town specifically to have some sort of resolve for their capital connections issues. And so you can see the things that have been resolved, the ones that are open and on track to being resolved, and then the ones that are pending review. So that's where we are there. Happy to take any questions as it pertains to that or anything else.
Do you know when that might be resolved? Or are you just ongoing?
It's an
for now?
ongoing thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a complicated issue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we're doing our due diligence so we can make sure we get to resolution and not have to revisit it. And yeah,
Were you asking for questions about your whole report?
anything.
Okay, can you elaborate a little bit on the SRTS project, Chesapeake Village to Beach Elementary School?
Yes. So the Safe Routes to School is SRTS. So that's what we're working on with the State Highway Administration. Where we are right now is that we just got their selected vendors proposal back. We had some edits. So they just sent it back to us and we're reviewing that revised proposal now to figure out what the next steps are.
Okay, and is it your sense that it's maybe, I mean, how many more revisions are you thinking it might go through?
I'm going to punt this over to Wayne, our town engineer.
I'm guessing we're going to go through 2 more rounds of revisions. We just got it today. We're going to look through it and get comments back to them. I expect we'll do that one more time.
And are you confident in a pending resolution and project?
Until I review what we got at like 5 o'clock today, I can't tell you, but I will get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but I do have a call out just with regards to the signs and the planning and zoning is looking at. Can we just reach out to them and just let them know, just as they bring that forward, how that might impact some of the efforts that we're looking at doing with either Kellum's Field or potentially even the water park with regards to like some of the displays and stuff. So I don't know if there'll be an impact, but I just want to make sure we don't violate our own rules.
Absolutely.
Jamie, could you repeat the beginning of that? What was the beginning topic?
Microphone a little closer.
Tied to the signs, specifically just making sure that whatever we're going to propose or whatever's going to be proposed to us to take a look at, that how could that impact any of the projects we're looking at with Kellum's or the water park, because there is a display that there was talks about.
Sign ordinance.
Yes. Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. The town treasurer is out of town. You have his report in writing, but he's not here to answer any questions. But if you've got questions, you can send them into him via email or whatever. But I think it's relatively straightforward. Is there anything you want to add to that, Amelia?
Pretty straightforward. We're on track to close out the audit for FY25.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody, any questions or comments on that? Okay, thank you. Public Works report, Jay, take it away.
You have the report. Couple of things I want to point out on the front page, right under water leaks. If you look at those saddles, I included that picture for a reason. Otherwise, I was going to bring them in here, but
I'm glad you didn't.
so those are sort of from later development in Richfield Station. And I'm doing a little more research, but I think at some point we're going to have to take the proactive approach similar to the last administration and go down some of these streets. But I just want to keep you guys informed. And then if you kind of skip through to the third page, just making you aware that we've got some contracted help and we're out on the rail trail replacing wooden handrails with composite. So
Oh, good.
we've got about 560 feet to finish the T that's at the end. And then we have the last section we're going to do is if you were to take the stamped concrete and kind of go to the dead end over the creek, There's about 575 feet there, but I anticipate it all being done by probably the end of this month, if not the first week in October. So that's good. That's
That's
been a
great
long
news.
time coming. And I appreciate the council approving the budget that added some money to get some contracted help to do it, because we're helping by supplying the material to contractors, because logistically, it's quite a ways out there to bring 20-foot boards, but it's letting us accomplish it, and it's been a long time coming. So thank you. And that's it. I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Public Works? Hearing none. Thank you, Jay.
Sure.
Wastewater treatment plant. I know I pronounced that wrong. Josh?
Good evening. For this past month, we've gone through as standard, doing our routine procedures and work orders through our asset management program. We completed the first cleaning of filter number 1, which was part of a project that was approved during the last council meeting. We've received the results of the post-cleaning analysis, and they're saying that the cleaning effectiveness was actually about 17% better than what they expected, and that's based off of microscopic analysis, and they actually just do a calculation on the change in the weight of the same volume of media to determine how much scale had actually been washed off of there. To date, the filter seems to be operating much better than it was before. So that's a good sign that the cleaning was effective. We had a number of work on a couple of RFPs. 2 of them are going to be before you for approval this evening for the site lights project for the plant, and then for the upgrade from the Siemens to Allen Bradley PLCs. We had a bid opening for our flow meters for shellfish protection tanks. We only received 1 bid, and it was well in excess of what was budgeted for this project. We're going to look back at the project and reassess, and it was not a critical project. This was okay, we'd like to try and upgrade these flow meters, get them to be a little better than what they are. So it's not going to adversely impact the operation of the plant. So to sit back, not run this project this year, and get better budget numbers for maybe next year, if we plan to continue with this, be the better option. We had annual service done on our ChemScan chemical analyzer, which is used for our filters. It gives us a readout of what our nutrients are for going into the filter, coming out of the filters, and does control of our methanol dosage for the filters. That was annual calibration. Basically, they tear the whole unit down, do a full inspection of it, full calibration, check everything out, make sure everything's in good order, replace what parts may need to be replaced. We had our semi-annual service for our emergency generator from Kelly Generator. They did not identify any major issues. They are recommending that we replace our batteries for the generator and the air filters, but that's basically at the batteries were replaced in 2021. So like, yeah, they're due for replacement. One thing that was not in the memo that I do want to bring to your attention, we have been experiencing intermittent high fecal readings in our effluent. It'll spike up and then come back down. We're working to try and determine the source. We've done parallel sample tests right after our disinfection and at the effluent. We have nothing coming out of disinfection. Somehow we're getting a high read after that point before it leaves the plant. Currently, we have the feed being redirected to a shellfish tank for this evening, and we're doing a full superchlorination of the effluent tank and all the piping to try and eliminate whatever source that is. We've been fighting, trying to figure out what this is, and it's just not making any sense. We've reached out to a contractor that we go to for any process control, and they're perplexed with what we're seeing here. So hopefully this chlorination will solve the problem. If not, I will definitely advise you as to whether it hasn't. The one concern we have here is that we don't want to exceed our permit limits. Right now, we're okay. If we solve the problem with this, we should be fine for the month. If not, there is a possibility we could exceed the permit limit for fecal discharge.
What happens when?
MD will require remediation. There could be a fine from that too. So we are working to identify the source. We are documenting everything we can. We're doing parallel samples to show that it was not due to a deficiency in our disinfection, and every step that we're doing along the line to try and resolve the problem. And it makes no sense because one day it'll pop up, the next day it's back down again. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We don't know. It could be a false positive. There are other microorganisms that could go in there. Vibrio is one, which has been an issue out in the bay. It could be coming into the plant through I&I. That's basically a saltwater microorganism, but it can survive through the treatment process, and it can survive in the fresh water in the plant. It's possible that could cause a problem. The test that we use does not test directly for fecal coliform. It just looks for the byproducts from those, the enzymes that are released through their reproduction, feeding, whatnot. So it is possible to be a false positive. So we're hoping to try and narrow this down and solve this issue.
Okay, well,
Are you keeping
let
track
us
of?
know how your science is going. And I know the way that you run this plant, that you're doing everything you can. So
Thank you.
keep us informed.
Will do.
And Dan, you had a question?
Are you keeping track of the temperatures? Maybe there's like we can identify in this temperature.
We do take 3 samples a day, and that's one of the things that we have to do for our regular permit. We take samples from our effluent. That part of that is temperature, DO, and pH. So we do have a record of that. The temperatures have gone up with how hot it was the last couple of months. They're starting to come back down now. We're hoping that this chlorination will solve the issue.
I guess sort of another one is with the rain that we got. I know Jay mentioned something a few months ago where we had an influx of flow from possibly some sump pumps and another one of the partners or something. Was that an issue in the past few days with the rain?
The flows did increase, but it wasn't a issue at the plant, surprisingly. A lot of times when we have a heavy rain like that, if we've had a long period of dry weather, it's not as much of a problem. It's when the ground is saturated and that water just ponds. That's when you really start having it going into some pumps in the basements or getting into the sanitary sewer through other means. But so far in my experience with that plant, when we had a long period of dry weather and we have a heavy rain or sustained rain like we had over the last couple of days, it's usually not going to be a major issue. For this one, we really didn't have any problems from it that I noticed.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Time for the town engineers report. Mike?
Good evening. You have my report. I'll go through, hit the highlights. Richfield Station, we did provide the developer a estimate back that we could support for his sureties if he chooses to accept it. Waiting for confirmation from that. Have not heard from him. We talked a little bit earlier about SRTS, the sidewalk project. We received today the second round of review from Rossi, who is the consultant. I'll review that and get back to them. In my report, it tells you I did provide comments back to them to confirm that what they're proposing does cover all the stuff we need. It wasn't clear in the proposal, so that was our main comment. Kelms Field, we finalized all the billing and all the sureties for maintenance. Now that's in maintenance mode, and we'll do a follow-up inspection in April 26 to release that maintenance surety. Seagate Pump Station, I got a hold of the MDE. We are looking at a meeting at the end of September to meet out there. We had to fill out the pre-meeting questionnaire and have a pre-meeting meeting, so we finished that last week. They now understand what we're asking for, and she's scheduling the meeting with the Corps of Engineers, DNR, and MDE. Of course, we talked about tennis courts. They're finished up. The contractor has a few remaining punch list items which he's working on outside school hours to finish up. 29th Street drainage, I'm working with Jay to complete some drainage repairs out there for alongside the roadway. Those are almost complete. B Street, we have made the right-of-way determination. That's now, I think, complete. I think we owe Jay an exhibit for the deed. And Rod and Reel, we've been working with their engineers to confirm elevations on the as-built structures out there to confirm that the flood certificates they have to give to FEMA are accurate. We did find a difference between our elevations and theirs. It's a difference in datum of what they use versus what we used. We're using GPS RTK technology, which is more accurate than the stuff that they've used in the past. Summary is their elevations are fine. They're just different than what we see. So we will get a letter out to that effect to allow that to move forward. Any questions? Happy to answer them.
Any questions for the town engineer, council?
On the Seagate,
Mhm.
is part of that meeting going to talk about being able to pump water out if the gate's closed? So
That's the
it's,
purpose of the meeting, is to see if we can have MDE, the Corps of Engineers, and DNR support our ability to pump directly to the bay. In our meeting, there was a lot of discussion about pre-treatment before it goes there, and I expected that. So we'll have to figure out what's going to be acceptable. That'll be part of the discussions we have at the on-site. So in essence, they don't want us just discharging water directly from the pump straight overboard with sediment and things like that, which I expected. So they would want us to do some type of on lot on-site pre-treatment before it hits the pumps, and I expected that.
thank you.
Anybody else? All right, thank you.
Sorry, I do have one question, and Wayne, I'm sorry, I can't think of another place to ask this question, so it's
okay.
going to you.
Go ahead.
For the water park, it says you're in a support role. Is part of that role estimating anything?
It will be reviewing estimates, yes.
Okay, so you will do a cost comparison and provide us with a basis for what we're looking at when we receive something.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anybody else? All right, we'll move along. Calvert County Sheriff's Office Twin Beaches Deputies Report. I noticed that we have the Calvert County Sheriff with us as well. And tonight, we want to acknowledge that Lieutenant Hollinger is moving on to other services and introduce Lieutenant Tom Phelps. Lieutenant Hollinger is not here, but we have an award for him that if all three of you would come forward, I would appreciate it. This was really to thank Lieutenant Hollinger for his service. And if you would be so kind as to, and I'm really grateful that to see the sheriff here tonight and
Thank you, Mayor.
thank you, sir. It's really good to have you here. You, sir, our new commander of the beach detachment.
You can see.
Need to get breakfast.
My name's Tom Phelps.
Why don't you stand at the microphone because we're making a recording.
I was just recently promoted to lieutenant. Prior to that, I was in criminal investigations. My history, though, I spent 8 years, almost 9 years here as a sergeant in the beach. And I left in 2001 to go to support services, which dealt with a lot of special events and things in the county. I am looking forward to being back over here. I spent close to 9 years here, and it was one of the most enjoyable assignments. I like the town atmospheres between the two towns, the special events, the community stuff, and I'm looking forward to working with you all. I gave you all my business card, has my contact information. Call me, text me if you have any concerns. I'll be there to help. So looking forward to the years ahead. So.
Well, thank you so much for all of you being here tonight. It's great to have you back. And as you and I have talked about recently, I knew both of your parents. I know your father's still alive, but your mother is not. And they were both teachers, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And so I think my daughters had them as teachers at some point along the line. So it's good to have you back. We're gonna miss Lieutenant Hollinger. He's been really cooperative and helpful. But we're glad you're here. And thank you for being here, Sheriff. It's really great to have you here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody want to ask?
Yeah. So when did you take the position, the assignment?
I was actually promoted last Monday.
Okay, yeah,
It's last Monday I was promoted, and there was a bunch of transfers in the agency. There was a bunch of promotions, transfers, and I was transferred over here. I started my career actually in the town of Riverdale Park, is kind of where I have the history of the small town stuff. And I grew up here in the county, of course, but when I did 6.5 years for the town of Riverdale Park, so that's kind of where when I had the opportunity years ago to come up here as a sergeant. I applied where it was a vacancy, and I came up here because it was kind of getting back to those roots of the small town stuff. And
We don't want that
kinda-
much action though.
Yeah. And now that, and I was promoted and they gave me the opportunity to come up here, and I said yes. So it's it's one of the things I told them I'd love to come back up here, and it's I'm looking forward to it. It's you're all new faces. It's kind of changed except for the mayor. Yeah. So and yes, the town attorney. But I am, like I said, I'm easy contact if you have any concerns. If you ever want to discuss anything or meet with me, I'm open. So
Welcome.
Yeah, I say welcome, and I say congratulations on the promotion too.
Thank
That's
you.
big.
Yeah, I echo that, and I want to restart what we used to do 8 years ago, which was every once a month I'd have breakfast with the sheriff and the detachment commander, and we would just talk over all the issues in the town. And so we'll get with you and get that organized. All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yes, and congratulations on the promotion
Yes,
too.
Appreciate it.
And give your father my best
I
regards.
will definitely.
Okay, take care. All right. And if you want to give the report, that would be welcome.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Everyone received a copy of the town report.
I saw that.
In the month of August 2025, the Twin Beach deputies responded to 229 calls for service, which was slightly up from the month of July 2025. They had 938 self-initiated activities. Included in that were 324 traffic stops. So definitely trying to keep those numbers up. Of the 229 calls for service, some of note were at a theft at Rod and Reel. Some chairs were stolen out of the garage that's up at the top of the hill by 17th Street, if everyone's familiar. They were moving stuff that morning, left the door open, came back, and some chairs were missing. So we're still looking into that for them. Had some destruction of property. One involved a mail tampering on 26th Street. That subject was caught and charged accordingly. Had another destruction of property on Stream Walkway. That was a landlord-tenant dispute that was handled as well. Had a destruction of property at Horizons on the Bay. Their pier, there were some ropes that were cut. And we worked with Mr. Phillips working on that. A couple nights later, we started, or before that, we were trying to do nightly foot patrol checks out there for the residences there because they said people were coming and fishing all hours of the night. It was the following night, one of the deputies went out there and identified some juveniles. So we're still working on that with body camera and the videos that we have from Horizons to see if they were the ones that did it so we can charge them accordingly with that. Had several CDS arrests this month. And for those that don't know, it's controlled dangerous substance or drugs, narcotics, whichever you want to call it. Deputies were able to utilize some of the canine officers that were on duty surrounding the Twin Beaches. We had them come in for a little while and run around with us. And as you can see from the report, some of those stops were successful. Had several domestic assaults. One was on 26th Street and one on Oak Ridge Drive. Both of those, I know one says charges are pending for the Oak Ridge Drive, but that one was actually closed out with both subjects charged accordingly. We just had to review some of that with the state's attorney's office before we moved on that. that's pretty much everything that I wanted to highlight for you guys and girls. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to take those now.
Anybody have any questions for Sergeant Norton?
I have a comment.
Okay,
I just want to say that I feel very safe in the beaches, and I think the last 3 months you've come and told us about some drug busts, to use the layman's term. And I just want to say that I appreciate that work
Thank
and
you.
keeping us clean from that, because that problem, once it sets in, really sets in and grows, and we, you know, we feel safe here. We don't feel like we have that problem running out of control. So thank you.
I'm trying to keep it under control. I did that for 11 years of my career, and several of those were up here investigations. But also to touch on Councilman Reinhardt's what he brought up last meeting with Richfield Station by the railway trail. We have been checking that, and I have not heard anything more from the citizens. We've been trying to stay on top of that. I know they were having some issues in there, I guess. Excuse me. Councilman Reinhardt and some of the other council members were getting citizen complaints about possible drug use at the entrance there where they park by the trees and everything. But we've been keeping an eye on that. So
you're talking about a Richfield Station or?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
all the way in the back where the railway trail connects
Yeah,
up to the
yeah.
neighborhood. It was a section right there, but we've
the
been dealing
undeveloped
with it.
section.
So,
Yeah.
and we haven't heard much more about it
Okay.
in September.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Oh, I see harassment, suspicious person and trespassing were kind of high numbers in comparison to the year. Were they different persons, or it's just kind of the summertime and that's sort of a little bit of higher number because of that?
I think a lot of those come from the casinos, Rod and Reel, Abner's, things like that, where they have patrons from out of county and they've been asked to leave. So they have us come there and we fill out a trespassing order that goes on file with us. So if they're to come back and we run their name, it shows in our county system that they've been trespassed from an establishment or an address. And then that way, if we run that and they come back as trespass, they're obviously arrested for that because they violated that. So a lot of the calls will come out as that. They'll come out as something different, but then when we get there, they want them trespass. So we'll change it to a trespass. It's probably the easiest way to explain that.
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
All right. Next, we have the North Beach Volunteer Fire Department.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name's Scott Kaiser. I'm the Vice President of North Beach Volunteer Fire Department.
Well,
And,
thank you for being here.
oh, you're welcome. From what I understand, we got a little lax on attending these meetings monthly. So we have, the fire chief has made a commitment to make sure we have somebody in attendance each month to answer any kind of questions. It will probably be me most of the time.
Good.
I'm 20-year resident of Chesapeake Beach, live in Richfield Station. My public safety career has been about 38 years. I'm a retired police officer, so I have a lot of time. I don't, pretty much firehouse takes up most of my time, so I get a lot of the duties and stuff during the daytime and everything. I believe that you have a statistical report that was emailed to you from our fire prevention person. If you have any questions about that, it seems like we're steady but not terribly busy at the moment, which is a good thing. And as it gets colder, we'll probably get a little busier. Right now, we just purchased, I don't know if anybody's seen it on our website, we purchased a new utility vehicle, a UTV, small that we can negotiate the trail with. We're hoping, we had to get some paperwork from the manufacturer, kind of clearing the title and everything to get it registered, titled, and tagged. But we're hoping to have that out and running here very shortly. We have to get all the operators trained on it. Unfortunately, our boat, the big boat, is out of service at the moment because we had a failure of a mechanical piece in the fire pump. And it's not an easy thing. You can't just drive that to the shop. And they actually had to take it somewhere, have a marine person remove all the motor, transmission, and everything, because that's where the fire pump operates. And then the fire pump is no longer, that model is no longer being made, so parts have to be manufactured long story short, hopefully we'll have it back here in service soon, but we are working on getting a temporary boat up here. It's just hard to find at the moment. Any questions anybody has or anything that,
I remember, we spoke at the night of
Yes,
service
yes, sir.
and, with your utility vehicle, and you said, once you get it up and running, you were going to kind of put a plan in place to sort of maybe have a secondary rescue plan for Richfield Station or something like that.
I mean, we're kind of at the mercy of being able to get any, like, we had talked about if there's a major incident at the intersection and the neighborhood does get shut down, we'll probably be at that incident and be able to break away. But the only other way we have access is through the trail. And this new U2, anybody that saw our old John Deere Gator we had, it was nice to run up and down the trail. This new one it's kind of high speed, if you want to say that. We could put 5 or 6 people in it. I mean, comfortably with seat belted and everything. It's built for that. It's got a pretty good fire pump on it. It's got a 200-gallon water tank on it. So we can quickly mitigate something if it's not too big getting through the trail. But other than that, it's going to be rough going if we have to get in there and there's something.
Yeah. I thought it was really nice to have that and the option there. You live in Ridgefield Station. I know I talked to the mayor about it, and we were happy that you were thinking,
Right.
and putting something in place on that.
Hopefully when we get that tagged, we can bring it down and have a little
Yeah.
show and tell and let everybody see it.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
I do have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
It looked like we averaged somewhere around 30 fire calls, I think, last month. And I'm not 100% sure. I don't have it in front of me, but I don't normally see fires every day, but I hear that truck leaving out because I'm right there on East Street behind you.
Right.
Is there any type of trends or anything that's having these fires? Like, are people having faulty wiring issues? Are they in the house just juggling fire sticks and because it's a new trend on TikTok or something? Like, what's happening with people where we're having these numbers of fires consistently throughout the
Right.
months?
I was looking at, we had 53 fire runs, and a lot of that is actual fires.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot, knock on wood.
Because it's split up between North Beach and Chesapeake Beach, but
Right. Well, the last 2 or 3 like real fires, like house fires, have been out of the area. Who have been helping with Huntingtown or Dunkirk, and I don't know. I know we had one this morning that, but it was in Anne Arundel County. It was right over the line in Anne Arundel County. It was a house fire. I don't know what the cause was, but I don't think we're not seeing anything now. I know as the cold weather comes in, people are going to be firing up their furnace, and we're going to be getting a lot of calls for like odors because when you start it up after the summer, all the dust and everything, depending on, how it's person calls it in is depending on what kind of response.
so there's no real trend in causality.
But there's nothing, not going, like I say, nothing going on right now out of the ordinary that we've seen. So
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to working with you closely and seeing you next month.
I'll be here. And like I say, if there's anything anybody needs, you can reach out to us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did have a quick question real quick. Have you just noticed like any upticks in e-bike or scooter incidents? Just there was a story about a kid in Virginia recently who passed away from it, and there's just been a huge spike in electric bikes and scooters. And I look at the report, obviously it doesn't break it down to that level. I just don't know if we've seen an uptick locally. I do see a bunch of kids.
As far as like crashes and injuries or
kids wiping out.
No, we had a bicycle crash right over here last week. I think it was somebody, but I don't think we've
nothing crazy.
seen a big uptick in it now.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thanks for being here too. We appreciate it. Time for the mayor's report. I've only got about 20 items on this report. Oh, wait a minute. It's not quite that many. Let me start by saying that last week I had Matt Flores, who is an Eagle Scout candidate who lives in Montgomery County, visited here last Monday, a week ago, to seeking a place to build a monument that honors the veterans of all the military services. And we're working with him and American Legion Post 206 to determine if a match can be made. And what this young man has come up with is incredibly, it's very, very nice. And the biggest problem that he's had is finding a home for his plan. He's also in the process of raising money. He's 20 years old and he's an Eagle Scout. And I was very impressed with him. We spent a fair bit of time riding around the town looking at potential locations. And he lives near Rockville or in Rockville, but he just couldn't find a place for this monument. So when he came down here, we looked at a couple of places, but when we went to the American Legion where the flags are up on the hill, I mean, and I'm sorry I don't have a picture of it on the screen, but this monument or this memorial could sit right there. So I'm encouraged by that, and I think it would be really nice for the town to recognize the veterans the way that he's planning to do it. And this young man really impressed me, so I wanted to share that with you first of all. The next thing I want to share with you is that we had the Taste of the Beaches last Saturday. And it was a huge success. Over 1,000 people attended, enjoyed good food, crafts, entertainment. I was personally pleased to see Abigail Francisco, who was in the picture on the left with me. Abigail has lived in the beaches just about as long as I have, which was since 1985. And she ran a ballet studio in North Beach. And for a long time, it was probably nearly 10 years, I stage managed her annual Nutcracker performances of the ballet company that was done at Mary Harrison Center at Northern High School. And so it was really a treat to see her. I haven't seen her in a while. She has now retired from that and has sold the studio to another lady. But while there at the event last Saturday out here at the Taste of the Beaches, I wanted to also acknowledge that we had a really good representation from the town council because Dan Duvall and Anthony Green were there manning the opioid abuse booth. Councilman John Evans and his family had a booth showing the plans for the upcoming renovation to the water park. And Councilwoman Laura Blackwelder had a booth showing the plans to expand the railway trail. And I just want to congratulate our staff members, Savannah Richardson, Martha Kennedy, for putting such a fantastic event together and for everybody that contributed. And I want to say that this council, I've never worked with a council that I have felt so good about as this one, because they are, every member up here is engaged. Every member is here to serve the public. And we're getting things done. And I'm so proud of the people that I am up here with. I want to share that. I have another note. Mike Sweeney, who is the chaplain at the American Legion and the Railway Museum Foundation president, is suffering from cancer. He has cancer in his shoulder. And he is struggling. So please just include Mike Sweeney in your prayers. He's a good man, and he's another one that just gives so much to the community. And we hope that he can just survive this and get through that. Next one, what you see on the screen right here is a work of art. It's an absolute work of art. And that artist is sitting right back here, Larry Ringgold. Larry, can you stand and be recognized? There's a story behind this. As many of you know, I've been a member of the Maryland Public Broadcasting Commission, where I was appointed by Governor Larry Hogan a number of years ago. And recently, MPT has sent a film crew to create a documentary on longtime Chesapeake Beach resident Larry Ringgold, who is a very creative artist who uses driftwood to create incredible sculptures. And the gentleman that you're working with, what's his name? Bernie Houston. So the two of them go out and scout around in tidal areas and so forth, and they collect driftwood. And MPT was there with the film crew last week, right? And so I got there as they were unloading the driftwood off of Larry's boat, which was on the trailer. They had been out over on the Potomac River, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so they had been sorting out, but the purpose of that was really to support the documentary that MPT was making. And you'll never find his house if you don't know where it is, because it's very well hidden. But it is within the town limits. And we go back 40 years because if you've ever been into Neptune's seafood pub, and if you've ever sat at the bar and you look up and you see the glass rack, well, Larry made that glass rack, and he made that when you were a teacher at the Career Center, if I'm not mistaken, to help the Raffles family and so forth out. And at any rate, it was great to see to be here for the taping. And I'll make sure that all of you know when it's going to air on Maryland Public Television. And I also want to mention that Larry will be at Anne Marie Gardens with exhibits of his work, and he has a lot of things. I mean, this piece is huge. He has a lot of other pieces that are absolutely spectacular, and you owe it to yourself. If you get a chance, go to Anne Marie Gardens this weekend to see what's Larry. So congratulations, Larry. And thank you for being here.
Did I get a chance to add that?
Come on up to the microphone. Yes, you need to do,
First place I displayed was in the room next door.
right, I remember that. That goes back to
13, 14, 15 years?
something like
Jim
that.
Barrett, yeah.
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 And I'll also say that Larry bailed me out one time when we had this antique table that collapsed and when my wife fell down the steps and hit it. And so he actually repaired this antique family heirloom. So this man is incredibly skilled. And I saw him at work at the Career Center as well. And, you know, it's just nice to honor the citizens of the town that just bring so much to the town. And thank you for coming
Well,
tonight.
thank you.
And
Mayor, may I add one thing to that?
Yes, you
Because I know
can.
Larry never will, but he also has been from the very first C-Box creation, when you were the mayor last. Every cleanup, every deployment, as a volunteer with his boat, he'll be there at the pathway and trail cleanup. So I know he does that, but I see him in all those interactions, and I want to thank him with all the volunteers that make a big difference. And I only do that because I know he would never want me to. So thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. And finally, I want to share with you that are they here? Okay, bring them on in. What I'm going to about share with you right now is that Mark Hewitt, a disabled young man, is here. And he did a great job recently when his caregiver, Cheryl Emery, he's very reluctant to come out, I think. Come on in. Come on in. Is it okay, Cheryl? Uh-oh, I'm sorry. I hope they're going to make it. Okay. Well, let me tell you the story. That'd be good, Mike. I've known Mike and Cheryl Emery, I think ever since I moved to Chesapeake Beach in 1985. And they were fun. This young man is disabled. But he did it, and you can see his picture in this. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. And you can see his picture in the well, his picture's here. But recently, Cheryl was in the driveway, and I don't know all the specific details, but she slipped and fell and couldn't get up, and he was in the car, and normally she has to get him out of the car herself. And she couldn't get up and he was in the car. And I believe she kept calling out to her. Do I have this right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And she kept calling out to him. And finally he got up and he got her up and got her able to get into the house. And for that, I'm just, and I want to give him applause, but I have a feeling we should wait until after he leaves. I don't want to upset him. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Okay. But I believe they're coming around the rear door, but I want you all to meet him because this is a young man that we need to be proud of. For him to be able to do this and to help Cheryl is just, it amazes me because he's seriously disabled. And we have an award for him and that we will get to him one way or the other. And I'll read it to you. It says Neighborhood Hero Award, proudly presented to Mark Hewlett, awarded to a resident who stepped up in a moment of need, showing courage, compassion, and quick thinking to help others. Their actions reflect the spirit of community that makes our town strong. And it's signed by me and signed by Dr. Okpodu, our town administrator. So I'm hoping they'll be able to bring him in. And he was at the Taste of the Beaches. I mean, those of you that were there saw him there. And it's just remarkable that he was actually able to help Cheryl. So let's see if they can get him to come in. Come on up. Come on up.
May I say one thing? I spoke with Cheryl earlier and she said that he's nonverbal.
I know that. Yeah.
And he was able to go in the home and get Cheryl's sister Karen and he said, help.
Yes.
That was so astounding that he verbalized the word help. So it was a miracle.
It was a
truly,
miracle. And thank you for
truly.
sharing that. They had told me that, but I forgot that. So he's right there at the back door. So everybody, please just be still.
And I think that actually goes to how much Cheryl love that she puts into him and that love that she puts to him.
Yes.
Get him to do something that he's not able to do. It's a positive story.
There's ice cream for you, Mark. We got Mark ice cream. We got ice cream for you, Mark. There's ice cream for you, Mark. Yeah. Well, we went.
You got a first gift.
And I appreciate everybody's patience. I think I may just walk out there and give it to him. Should I come out there? Carol, should I come out there? Is he going? I'm sorry. These meetings tend to run long. Okay.
Handed it to the mayor, hand it to him.
It'd be nice if everybody could see him, but. And this is Cheryl Emery, for those of you that don't know her. And she was the one that fell out of her car and was rescued by this young man. You take that, I'll take this. I don't think he's going to come in. Y'all, please be patient.
that is. She wants that man. On behalf of the young man, we should have ice cream for everybody. So, one of them's over his. Put it by the pool. Everybody be still. There you are.
Over there waiting.
It's nice to know you.
What
Being here. Anywhere you want. Anywhere you want. You want to sit down right here? Thank you. I'll get that to you. Thank you.
Well, actually, I'd rather have a picture with you, Bruce. Bruce, I'd rather have a picture, I'd rather have a picture with you giving it to him.
Got this for you. Let me come around where you're standing. So you go over here. This is for you. This is for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Nice.
Thanks,
Open up.
You got one for the chair. There you go. Can you
Hold it up, let's see it, Mark.
Don't
Put it
be-
down on your face.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Good job. You know, we're all proud of you. You did a great job.
Good job, Mike.
We did you did
Mark.
a great job.
I got you. Just a minute.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Did you tell everybody the story?
Yes.
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 Yeah, I've been with him 20 years and I was amazed.
Yeah,
It's like,
And then Cheryl, you're very proud of him with Mark. I mean, you've been with him for a long time, and even when I was at his graduation from high school.
yeah, because he was,
Like Commissioner Grasso said, he is nonverbal and can get help and got you helping.
told my sister, help.
And that's why I knew you reach out to us, and the mayor and I, and tell everybody about how great Mark is and his family.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you.
Say what? You go away. Okay, now you stay, right?
Proud of this.
You saw what I did? Show them what I did. Good, show 'em. I was slipping, right? Oh, thank you, guys.
You bet.
Thank everyone.
See that?
Yes, that's cool.
Thank you. That's all yours.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
You bet.
There's ice cream. Cheryl, there's ice cream. Mark, you want some ice cream?
This was important. Really important.
That's so incredibly. And that he deserves all the recognition. And you were blessed that he was able to do that.
He's so amazing. And I've been around all of these.
For bringing.
You want to come?
Yeah, right out there.
Oh, okay. Take it.
Thank you. Well, take that.
That would
You got pinned up on the door. Thank you, Mark, buddy.
Thank you.
It's a. See. I gave the young man for you guys too. Man, got half of them over there. Got some more.
That's why one is.
Well, thank you all, and especially thank you for your patience, but this to me was absolutely worth our time and that young man, as disabled as he is, he really did a magic thing with Cheryl and I've known her for decades. So this is pretty special. And it's nice to recognize him, but, and I'm glad we got him, that they were able to talk him into coming in. I think all it took was candy and ice cream and stuff like that. It's kind of like me, I guess. All right, we'll move on. That's the end of the very lengthy mayor's report. I promise it won't be that long next month. Well, okay. Next, we have resolutions and ordinances. We're going to introduce two ordinances. Ordinance O-25-13, an ordinance of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, amending the annual budget of the general fund of the town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, to reconcile expenses and ratify over expenditures. We're going to set the public hearing for 6:15 on October 16th before the town council meeting, the regular town council meeting in October. We're going to introduce ordinance O-25-14, an ordinance of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, amending the annual budget of the utility fund of the town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, to reconcile expenses and ratify over expenditures. That will follow the previous one, 6:15, October 16th, before the town council meeting. Ordinance O-25-15, an ordinance of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, amending the annual budget for the Water Reclamation Treatment Plant Fund of the town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, to reconcile expenses and ratify over expenditures. And again, that'll follow the previous one on October 16th. And then finally, ordinance O-25-16, an ordinance of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, amending the annual budget for the Water Park Fund of the town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, to reconcile expenses and ratify over expenditures. And that will follow the previous one, so they'll all be in a row. All right, Planning and Zoning Commission reports. Okay. Submitted, it has been submitted by Cindy, so, but she is not here. Anything to say on that? No. Board of Appeals, no hearing was held. Chesapeake Beach Oyster Cultivation Society, you've got a written report. Economic Development, oh, and yes, I see that we're going to appoint Dan Duval as the liaison. So thank you for stepping up for that. And Election Committee. I'm sorry. Eric isn't here. So there really is no update on that then.
Well, our first meeting is going to be next Thursday, September 23rd.
Oh, okay.
so
All right, good. Thank you for that.
Getting it together, Randy. Right.
Good. No time like the present. Next is the Green Team Committee. There is a written report that's been submitted. And Jan's not here, so we'll just move on. Unless anybody's got any questions or comments. Kellum's Revitalization Committee. I'm sorry, which? Did you, Laura?
Well, I'll just chime in for the green team that the paddle and pathway pickup is September 27th at 9:00 in the center of town. So come out and help.
That'd be great. All right. Okay, next, Kellum's Revitalization Committee. And I have a feeling that Jamie may have a word or two for us.
Yes. There's a actually thick packet today that has a 2-page report plus the survey results. So previously we had there was an ask to do a survey to kind of validate some of the things that we were looking at doing with Kellum's. A little disappointed John's not here to see some of these results because he was specifically asking for it. But I really just quickly wanted to run through some of the respondents and what we saw as the culmination of this report, and then kind of outline some of the next actions. So we had just almost 100 people provide a response. Of note, 72% said that they had kids at home. And then I provided 2 variations of the output of the ranking. So first is just what was the highest first choice rankings. And then I used a consensus ordering ranking to kind of show what it looks like when you add them all up together to see what had the highest. So looking at first choice ranking, the Adventure Playground, which I would describe this as something similar to Dunkirk Park where they have over there. We kind of like, how can we provide, while we have the smaller tot lot, how can we provide something larger for older kids and give them the same experience that you might see over in Dunkirk Park? Because if you go over there at any point in time, there's at least 30 cars in the parking lot and tons of kids running around having fun. And that's something that we don't have within a reasonable distance. You got to go at least 15, 20 minutes to experience that. But we have a lot of kids around here. So there was that. The second was walking and fitness, pickleball, and then there's the list. And then looking at consensus order, there's a slight swap. The walking and fitness path. So a path around Kellum's was the number one ask, or the number one ranked item, followed by the Adventure Playground, exercise stations, and sports area. At the bottom was I'm going to say it, but I don't mean it to point fingers, but
I
I'm
don't know
gonna.
how that could possibly happened.
Well, I mean, if you don't know kids and people, then maybe that's how it is. But yeah, at the bottom ranking was the soccer goals. I still think that's something that we would actually want to put out there because that makes a lot of sense to use the field to maximize the field usage. But the baseball field was not at the top of many people's list, either in the number one ranks or that. So what does that just mean, though? Looking kind of like at the statistics in general, high enthusiasm and broad acceptability for the walking path and the fitness trail in the adventure park. The exercise stations in the sports area that we talked about kind of like top it up. And then, there's some discussions about potential expansion of pickleball courts or, a further sports area. So talking with the next steps, I did submit a message to the town administrator requesting access to Public Works Administrator and Wayne to talk to you. I think we would like to now proceed into looking at a feasibility study of what we can actually do with the space available, what's realistic, what's the timelines, and kind of start scratching out some budget numbers. In this year, next year's, and the following year's budgets, we did put money aside for pretty much everything in here with one exception. And actually Dan Duvall was the first one to kind of point this out. So credit goes to him, is adding maybe in the previous administration actually tried to attempt to do something similar as well, was like an amphitheater, but that design had permanent seating, and I think it was permanent seating or maybe removable seating, whatever it was. But ideally an event stage of some manner that would allow us to host events. You could have music, you could do that's where the movie screen could be. You could hide the picnic tables that Savannah is constantly having to move around and just leave laying out at the field. So there's a lot of opportunity for a multi-purpose use there. and just events in general that we could use. And then there is the potential that that could be a revenue generator that we could put back towards the maintenance of the facility. So again, I will be reaching out once we get the thumbs up to both of you gentlemen to help figure out the next steps. I did have one ask that was in there, and I'm gonna plug it since we have our amazing county reps in the room. But we did pull the dog park out of the Kellum space. Originally, that was something that we submitted to the Open Spaces program. And that ties back to a lot of feedback that we got from residents regarding safety, allergies. There's a lot of issues with water mitigation and just a bunch of factors that just said, hey, this probably isn't the right space. But there might be what I'm hoping is there's an opportunity to repurpose that funds to still support the overall purpose of what we submitted the request for. So so I submitted that. Maybe we'll get some traction there. Wink, wink, and we'll see how that goes. But that's my report. Any questions, I'm happy to answer. That was my analysis of the report. I did actually put the report in there. So if anybody wants to challenge my analysis or redo it themselves, more than happy to. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, observation, comments?
Well, I'll just said I walked out there with Jamie and we looked at a couple different ideas and before the survey came in, and one of the big things that we had talked about was the stormwater management of it. And he said that Jay had quite some information, knowledge that he could maybe share with us. Maybe we're a little proactive, save ourselves some legwork. If you could give us some advice of what's going to work and not work. Design around the existing conditions. Appreciate it.
Anything you want to add, Jay?
No, I think you're exactly right. And actually in speaking with them, develop a plan, see what's feasible, see what's, take the fork in the road, see where we can go, and then start fine tuning. But obviously there's flood considerations where it drains now. We just replaced that storm drain pipe. There's a lot of unique aspects to that place, but the way to do it is see what can be done and go from there.
All right. Thank you. Next, we have the Twin Beach Community Health Coalition. We have a report. Anthony?
Well, first, I want to make a slight alteration to the mayor's report. Dan was helping out John at the water park table. Lori was holding down the trailway, I believe, and then you had the green team. I was just hanging out, man.
Oh,
I don't want anybody to think
but you did it so well.
I was
You
really
did
just there, walking around, saying hello to people and just having a good time. I was not working in any way, but I was there. But
Nobody would have known the difference.
well, I don't take credit for what I don't do. So just want to make sure that I was chilling. All right. So we had our International Overdose Awareness Day event on August 31st. We had a little over 60 attendees that I can count. Went really good. It was attended very well. We had a couple of vendors, Alcoholics Anonymous, Chesapeake Recovery Prevention Services, Local Behavioral Health Authority. We had some stakeholders that were involved. We want to thank Calvert Alliance Against Substance Abuse, Calvert County Health Department, Behavioral Health, Chesapeake Recovery Mobile Crisis Team, Legal Women Voters was there. And then we also did have Calvert County Commissioners there in spirit, and also the DEA who helped us pay for some of the event. We had speeches from Mayor Wall. Thank you so much for that. Denise Dickinson, the Behavioral Health Director, was there, and we had a speaker, Carlton Hill, who's a peer recovery specialist from Frederick, Maryland, that came in. So the mural artwork project has started. If you go over there, you can already see the outline and the paint on the wall. It's going to take her about 2 weeks to complete, and then we can find a way to have something there to present it to the public and kind of Christian it so it can be a thing. I've also talked to Mayor Mike Benton about that, so he would like to attend and be there with you when we unveil it. And then the next steps, we're looking at the best web-based presentation of both the mural creation itself and the memorialized names so community members can view and reflect. We want to keep the mural itself as more of a message of hope instead of something of grief. But we're also going to find a way to interlocate the names into the artwork in a way that is not visible unless you are very, very close up to it. So we're working on that now, and she's doing the work for that. The only other update we have for Red Ribbon Day, the coalition had to send in a video. We updated and sent in a video to the DEA to let them know the things that we've done here with the coalition based on the work. So they have what they need from there. And we are looking at next year to do a physical fitness and mental health event in Kellums for next summer. So we'll probably start getting ready for that. So we can have at least 8 months to plan out to be ready for it.
That's great.
Right.
That's good work. Thank you.
And thank you, Dan, for coming to help out for that. And Jamie came through too. So it was cool. It was appreciated.
Any questions? Okay. Next, we have the Walkability Committee. Laura?
Okay, so the Walkable Community Advisory Group has been very busy. We've been meeting with SHA. We have another meeting with them on October 3rd. And the goal with SHA is just to continue the conversation and work towards feasible plans instead of roadblocks. So we'll continue with that. And SHA has been very responsive. I got an email from Kim Tram today. And so I'm looking forward to working with them and continuing the relationship. But what we're most excited about is we are working on an RFP for expanding our railway trail and the surrounding network. And right now we're viewing like a webinar from a Build Trails website and looking at contracting options that I would like to speak with the mayor about. So I don't want to, elaborate too much. And we hope to get an RFP drafted in October. So I hope that the council will be there to support soliciting a company to help us make the decisions and the designs to build out our trail network. And it was consensus on the committee that we want a company that's not only going to plan, but can also design so that we can get something done. So Mayor, I know I talked to Samilia this week and we all agreed that I need to get on your schedule this week.
Absolutely.
So I will work to do that.
And since I was the one that advocated the trail in the first place, I'd be more than happy to meet with you.
I'm excited to meet with you because the committee's been great. We did a lot of work and we everybody was really excited at Taste of the Beaches to talk about railway trail expansion. I did not get a picture of you at our booth, but
I was there.
no, I know you were there. We raffled off the prize together.
Yeah. Well, and I stopped by your booth. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was exciting and people didn't have to take a picture. People didn't have to sign up for the committee, but we had people sign up to join the committee and we had people take pictures. And so Samilia, I'm going to leave this at Town Hall in case anybody wants to pick them up. Everybody's excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And I know I've told you this story before, but the reason it didn't go around the foot of Richfield Station was because of the Critical Area Commission. And as soon as the other 21 agencies approved it, but the Critical Area Commission said we couldn't go around the foot of the hill there, where the railroad used to run on the curve. And so when I brought them out here, the Critical Area Commissioner and the commissioners and took them out there, they said, "Why did you stop here?" And I said, "It was because your commission said we couldn't go any further, even though we had the funding and we had the right of way. We had everything except their permission." So hopefully we can get past that. And then once you go past that, you're just a few hundred feet more and you're out of the town limits. Not that that matters, but we'll have to work with our brethren from the county to see what we can do in that regard. So thank you. And I appreciate your efforts on that. Okay, next we have the Water Park Committee. We have a written report. But Jonathan Evans is, even though I saw him this afternoon, he's headed out. And he had that table there, Taste of the Beaches. And Dan can provide some public comment.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's gone to the Taste Beaches, but it went really well. Sat at the water park booth with John, and there was a lot of positive feedback. Everybody was receptive to us and accepting that we weren't going to have it for the 2026. I think they appreciate it, most part, at least being upfront about our plan for the 2027. That was nice, but everybody was very happy and excited. I think that's nice to hear. A lot of different ideas, but for the most part, they looked at the plans and provided a supportive tone for it. So we'll keep working ahead for it.
Great. Any questions? All right, next we have the Water Park Committee. I'm sorry, we had the Water Park Committee. Now we're down to new business, no unfinished business. Town Council to consider awarding a contract to Zero Draft in the amount of $20,736.45 for the replacement of the exterior light fixtures at the water reclamation treatment plant. And that one is within my spending authority, so I'm just going to approve that, and we don't need to vote on that. So is there anything you want to add to that?
Not off the top of my head. We had pretty good discussion during work session.
Right.
The cost that we were proposed was well within budget. Looking at the previous bids we had received in October last year, it's right in the same range as what those were.
Okay.
The low bid on that was 16,000. High bid was 39,000. So this falls right in the middle. Other than that, I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Item 2, under new business, Town Council to consider awarding a contract to IMAX in the amount of $214,107.47 for instrumentation and control work to upgrade the Siemens PLC system to Allen Bradley at the water reclamation treatment plant. You want to give us a brief outline of what that's about, please?
This project is to upgrade the PLC controls and VFDs for our original headwork system and the shellfish protection tank. The system was put in about 20 years ago prior to the ENR upgrade and uses Siemens products, which uses a different type of SCADA software to operate. When the ENR upgrade was completed, we went with Allen Bradley that uses another type of software to do the monitoring. And as we're going along, the two communications are not communicating as well as they should be, along with the fact that the components are 20 years old and are in need of replacement. We're actually seeing issues right now to where communication is completely broken down with our offsite SCADA. We are still able to get data from one SCADA system, but the other one is just not able to communicate with the server anymore because of those issues. So
you
this
can,
will
you
be
can communicate with it when you're on site, but
Yes,
it's
sir.
not off site, right?
yes, sir.
Okay,
So this will be definitely on time and to be completed.
okay. Any questions? All right, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Or a second?
Second.
Any further discussion by the council? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, council. And then the last item is Victor Stanley, the Veterans Park benches. As you all know, a car drove through the Veterans Park and wrought havoc. And so, Jay, do you want to jump in on this a little bit?
Sure. So there's several things. It obviously took out benches, and if you remember, it was originally concrete benches. The town upgraded them to the metal custom-made Victor Stanley benches. When I met our insurer out there, Legit, I gave them a number based off of when we purchased those benches, but they only allocated an X amount. Then we sent them actuals, and they adjusted their coverage because this individual that did this was uninsured. Long story short, the number has to be approved by the council because it's over the mayor's spending limit, so it came to here. But behind the scenes, I've communicated with Victor Stanley, a very local company, and said, look, we're going to do it. It's a matter of process, start the process. But they're still several months out because they take a while to make. Each bench is custom made, literally slat by slat, because I don't know if all the council members know, but if you look at that from the sky, it's supposed to be the stripes of the flag. So if you look at those benches, there's not a straight piece on any one. That's the long and the short of it.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, and this is going to be covered by by the insurance that the town holds, because the driver of the car apparently was uninsured. And so,
Correct.
so there's really no action that we need to take here. But this is for your information. And so go ahead, Jay.
And I'm not sure, maybe it's Alyssa, but it does exceed the mayor's spending limit. Is that correct? So do we need to take action on that vote for the council approval? That's what I understood.
But it's covered by insurance.
Sorry. It's covered by, yeah.
Turn your mic on.
Amount that was needed to be paid by the town in excess of the mayor's spending authority.
So the way I understand it in prior claims, and I could be wrong, the town would make the expenditure and then the insurance company would reimburse us.
I think as long as the insurance company is committed to the reimbursement,
Then we're-
there's no expenditure of town funds. Okay.
We can follow up with the town treasurer when he returns.
Okay.
I wish Dan were here because he's the one that told me I couldn't sign it until we did this process because of the expenditure. So there, if we can just vote it in, I don't know if it's too late to do that or not. Otherwise, I'd already sent it off.
I've been doing it.
Yeah. Well,
I think if it's a local business, it might give that business a peace of mind too, if it's a custom order piece. Is that what you're saying, Jay?
What I understand Jay is saying is that the instructions that he got from Dan indicated that he couldn't sign it until he had council approval.
Agreed.
And so although insurance is going to cover it,
Right.
what he's saying is, can we just cover our bases, have the council vote, even though the council, because we might have to pay it first and be reimbursed by insurance. If you all are aligned, to just vote to approve the town to pay it and then be reimbursed by the insurance company.
Well, that sounds prudent. Then we
Yeah.
know we're covered. Is there a motion for?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a
Second.
second? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Perfect.
Done. But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Okay. All right. We're done with the new business. Is there any public comment? Anybody wish to come forward and say what a great meeting we had tonight? And I'm so grateful that you all are here, that it's really, the show of support is fantastic. Yes.
Great meeting.
Thank you. And,
Okay.
and you helped make it so thank you.
Okay. I want to thank you all for inviting me to tour the nuclear power plant with you. Unfortunately, it's a day that I work, so if it does change, let me know. And Anthony, we have talked. I will love to be at the unveiling. I think it's a great thing that you all are doing with the mural. And if you kind of get an idea as to when it might happen, let me know so I can get it on my calendar, or even if you have two dates that you think it might be, just so I can lock it in, because I want to make sure I'm there.
Okay, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, thank you all for all you do.
And thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you.
Mr. Commissioner President, is there anything you would like to say? And she's already done it, so I guess we're done with that. All right, it's now time for the town council lightning round. Anthony,
Nothing.
lightning
Well,
strike.
you know what? Let me do, I'll say one thing. I'm just playing. Our country has been going through a lot the past couple of months, especially the past week. To be able to have something like Taste the Beaches, where you see so many people, so much community, so much togetherness, so much fun, to kind of counterbalance that so people can be in good spirits. I think that was a really good thing. So the staff needs to really be applauded. Savannah, all the work that they do should not go unnoticed because we really need it. We really need things like that to counterbalance all the other things that are happening in the world. So it was really good to experience that, to see people having fun, people being together, just hanging out, talking, meeting each other for the first time. So I think it's a good thing that we do that, and we need to keep that kind of spirit up.
I spent some time today with both Savannah and Martha, and their spirits are high. So I think that reflects that what they're doing, they feel good about it, and you're right on point. Right on point. Thank you.
Okay, so Councilman Green stole a little bit of my thunder because my lightning round is also about Martha and Savannah.
They must be doing something right.
They're doing great. I didn't attend many events when I was on planning and zoning, and so this was my first chance to see Martha and Savannah in action, and they were outstanding. It was really something to behold. And then Martha was supporting my committee leading up to the event, and she was a rock star because we came up with our plan very late in the game, and I was able to work with Martha very easily and just pull it all together while she was pulling together Taste of the Beaches, which I found amazing. So great job to both of them. And it was
We'll
fun.
be sure to pass that along. Yeah. We'll play the tape for them. Yeah.
I'd like to thank the Mayor for giving the opportunity with the economic development. Hopefully we can kind of make our businesses the best they can be and for our town. And one of the things we had that meeting with the IQ Fiber over at the Rod and Reel, and tell you, pretty nice view in that room, water view, and just really nice. But let everybody know that it sounds pretty streamlined. I think they said maybe 3-4 months first customers can have the first accounts with fiber.
They're going to start on this side of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 gig, 2 gig, 5 gigs.
All it
Pretty
takes is-
fast.
All it takes
Yeah.
is money.
Yeah. Well, it's actually pretty reasonable in prices. I think we ran the
prices are
numbers,
quite
and
reasonable.
it's really in line with Comcast, but
It's not. It's much less than Comcast in my house.
well, with the discounted rate on the
Yeah.
Comcast, but it's always the same price. You're not having to renegotiate or you're out of this deal or that deal. So I think it's a good benefit for the town, and it's if they choose to do it or not. It doesn't have to be, but it's up to the customer. So.
And our commissioners were there too today, and so they participated, and appreciate you being there for that. That's for an old electronics geek like me, this is pretty exciting stuff. I mean, I've worked in broadcasting my entire career, over 50 years, and so to see this sort of thing coming around, it's really it just changes the whole stage. I mean, it's hard to even comprehend this. And I know I've told this story 1,000 times, but when I was in Vietnam, I only got 2 telephone calls from my wife, and they were Mars calls, and it's unidirectional. So you had to say over, and she always forgot to say over. So that didn't work. We only talked 2 times while I was in Vietnam that way. And then one time I got to use a phone when I was in Saigon and called through the Pentagon and got to her. That was better. But I mean, now when people are deployed like you, Jamie, you're out there, you got your cell phone or whatever, and you can talk to anybody anytime. I mean, we see, of course, I've lived for a third of the history of the country now. So, I mean, there's been a lot of changes, but it's really cool. It's cool to see this stuff. And it's great that they picked Chesapeake Beach to do this. I mean, this is going to be an amazing transformation for internet connectivity and so forth here in the town. Anything else?
Yeah, so I'll go. I will say, yeah, I've never experienced the connectivity challenges that you're speaking of while overseas. I will say a little bit more of a somber note that's kind of ties to what Anthony was saying. 20 years in the military, and there's a lot of veterans on the council, and there's a lot of veterans in the audience as well. I was extremely disheartened with what happened in the past week or so, and it's not because of a political affiliation or anything like that. It truly is shocking to see that even just what we do up here, there's a lot of times where I have a debate with a council member. Me and Lori Blackwell there go back and forth a lot offline. But it's all out of good faith and good heart and partnership to get to a state that is going to drive quality goodness for our community and never out of ill will. So I hope that, and I talked to my son who will be 13 this week and was shocked that he knew who Charlie Kirk was and said, like, why would somebody get shot for expressing an opinion? And so it was a hard conversation to have with a almost 13-year-old boy. So I hope that we continue to encourage people to speak up and have an honest and fair debate. And I hope that people recognize that there's always going to be 2, 3, 4 sides to a story or to an opinion. And you see it up here. I can tell you, I can walk in here and have a pretty good idea of who's going to agree or disagree on certain things and who's going to disagree and agree on other things. But we still have to figure out how to work together. And violence is absolutely the most disgusting way to solve that. So I will openly say, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
Anybody else? We're all good. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, you got it. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Don't be silly. The ayes have it. We're adjourned. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for your cooperation. I'll look.
Mm-hmm.